Like a badge, national green badge.
Well, sure.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Well, welcome everybody this morning. So nice to see you all, and some of you just don't age at all. It seems like George Quick over here just hadn't aged a day since I saw him. It is so good to see everyone, and we want to welcome everyone. And you talk about picking a good day. We did that, didn't we? We have a young man here that's going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, his name is Charlie Falk. Charlie Falk. Charlie, would you come forward, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And to the republic, I messed up. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, an indivisible, one nation under God, and indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In fact, on the radio the other day, they said y'all are the dynamic duo, and she's the biggest part of the duo, I think. And of course, John Endicott, has been a member here for some time. Does a lot of good work here at the depot. Mary Hendricks, just to show you how much people care. Mary lives in Waco, and she comes back for every one of our meetings, and she comes back for everything like this and brings something with her. And that's just an example of what we have. And Ruth Moore here, she's in the Family Ties. She's an officer in the Family Ties Association. Glad to have you with us, Ruth. And of course, this Mr. Jim Pettison right here. You know him. He wasn't here when the Ginocchio was built, but he lived in it a long time. Jim was born in the Ginocchio house. Is that right, Jim? So his family operated the Ginocchio Hotel for many years. Christina Anderson, and of course her husband, Judge Anderson, is also a member here of the board, and we're glad to have Christina here today. We'll introduce you and tell you a little more about her in just a few minutes, but she and Richard have been so helpful to us here at the depot. And of course, Bob Graves over here. Bob's been with us a long time. He's recording secretary here. He works very hard. And Harold Huffmeister. His dad was an official with the Missouri Pacific. We won't hold that against you, Harold. But Harold works very hard here. He's here nearly all the time. He's also a station host here for Amtrak. He donates his time now. That's all totally. Every day he meets the Amtrak trains and helps anybody any way he could, any way he can, and also tells them about Marshall and what to do here in Marshall. And so he's a valuable assistant here at the depot. Now we have several other board members, and just like oh, I'm sorry, Bill. See you back. Bill Clark, certainly one of our outstanding board members. He's the guy that built the Train of Fame. Now, he did all the wood. He's a good woodworking man. He did all the woodworking part of it, and he's built another one, and we'll talk about that in a little bit also. But Bill is a good hard worker. He was former president of the depot, and of course we miss our other former president, Al Walsh, who passed away a few months ago. And he was president for 4 years, Bill for 2 years, and I'm in my 5th year right now, and going into the 6th one, and I think that's enough. You know, but Bill was really a good, hardworking president of the board. Anyone else? Oh, Melba. Would you come up and tell us a little bit about it, Melba?
Okay. Can y'all hear me? I'm not used to a microphone.
Willa Woodruff is the president of the Family Ties organization. There are no dues. We meet on the fourth Tuesday night of about 4 times a year. And the next meeting, I think, is going to be the 25th of this month. We'll be right here in the boardroom of the depot, and at 6 o'clock. We mostly just want to keep in touch with each other. I know my dad is 96. Until we get the lift, he won't be able to come to any of the meetings, and because he is suffering from dementia now, he probably would know that he was here anyway. But Daddy was well known when he was here. He worked for over 30 years at T&P, and I think he had a fight with Bear Sloan at least once a year. So a lot of the old T&P employees and their families have a lot of good stories to tell. We would love for you to come. Like I say, there's no dues. Just there's forms out here on the table if you fill them out. We'd be glad to get in touch with you. We have a phone committee that will remind you well before the meeting so that you can be here. And we just have a good time getting together, and we'd love to have you. So.
As Hal had mentioned, I'm a representative on something called the National, the Council of Representatives for the United States, the National Association of Railroad Passengers, and we just had our annual meeting to talk about high-speed rail and higher-speed rail, and of course it coincided with National Train Day. I brought this so you could see that not only is it National Train Day, but we're kicking off the 40th anniversary of Amtrak. Here's your legacy. We have trains continuing through our history, and 40 years ago, May 1st, 1971, Congress had passed in October 30th of 1970 passed the Passenger Rail Service Act to establish Amtrak. And then on May 1st, with President Nixon at that time, and on May 1st, 1971 was the first day that Amtrak started. So this is the 40th anniversary of Amtrak, and they're going to be celebrating it all year. Today's the first day that they're kicking it off at Union Station in Washington, D.C. But as you'll see, I don't know if you can all see this, but the trains this year will have the 1971 to 2011 on the side. And they'll also have throughout this year what they're calling the exhibit train or heritage train that's going all around the United States. And we were given a preview while I was in D.C., and it's fabulous because you get to see the 40 years. But the one thing that I did want to say that kind of ties it all together is the campaigns that they've had through the years are very, very timely. Amtrak started out by saying, I think their first campaign was save energy, use Amtrak, use our car. That's what they said. And they also said tracks are back. And they also said, my other car is a train. And then the other one I really like that's on here that you can see, it says gas pains, ? Use Amtrak as relief. So we can certainly relate to that with our going on $4 gasoline. But I just wanted to mark, and I thank for the opportunity to say that trains are not just a part of our history. They are an incredible part of our history of our United States. And as we see with the depot and all the people who work here and the Amtrak right now, we need to continue to support Amtrak. We're very blessed to be only one of 528 cities in the United States who have an Amtrak stop in our community. And as we were saying on the radio the other day, there are many of us who are working very hard to bring higher speed rail to our community that would connect Shreveport-Bossier, at not only the Texas Eagle that comes through here, but a stop that would go to DFW Airport to Shreveport-Bossier through Marshall, kind of like the Heartland Flyer, so that we have 2 or 3 trains a day. That's what we're working on. That's the dream. Because, and I was very honored while I was in Washington, the Secretary of Transportation, Ray LaHood, was there. Very dynamic speaker, very, very smart man, as well as the president of Amtrak was there, and all speaking to the importance of rail to our our nation. It's not something that's just quaint and, oh boy, don't we like to ride trains. It's very important to our national security. It's very important to our economic development here, to energy, to our getting us off the dependence on foreign oil. There's so many things that trains do besides being wonderful to ride and enjoyable. Oh, there's another thing that I wanted to say. They had a campaign that said, "See America at sea level," and that's SEE, so that you literally can look out the window and see the beautiful United States. So I just wanted to say that I was saying to Claire earlier that we like to say that the depot stands as a testament to the past, present, and future, because we have such a rich history of our past. Our present is really wonderful because Amtrak is doing a great job. Our depot board is doing a great job. We have a great museum, but also our future is very bright, and we appreciate everyone's support for higher speed rail, because it can only help our community and help our country. And I just wanted to also end by saying, if you'd like to become a member of the National Association of Railroad Passengers, we have some forms up here, and one of the benefits is that you get 10% off every ticket that you buy from Amtrak. And it's a wonderful organization that promotes high and higher speed rail in our United States. So thank you again for your service. Thank you for keeping the history alive of our beautiful depot, and thank you for all you've done for T&P Railway. Thank you.